Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you're doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about ICP. We're also going to be talking about very, very big news regarding ICP. But before we jump into that, ladies and gentlemen, listen, if you need a portfolio review or would like to be part of the community, highly recommend joining the Discord. We also are getting into trading a lot. We see I also talk about, gold and other pairs, forex trading, called the gold reversals, gave a detailed breakdown, and guess what? Gold is literally at the all-time highs. Absolutely crazy the last few days, right? We called the buys literally somewhere down here, and gold all the way up here. We can see we even cashed out some nice profit of 2,000 US dollars. So, the package does include learning how to trade, right? You pretty much have a full breakdown of how the markets work. And of course, you'll be in a community and having updates on the Discord about everything else. So look, ICP, right? Price action, we're going to talk about price zones, what I expect with this coins. But before we do, I'm going to dive actually first into the news that I want to talk about. So pretty much we can see over here that breaking news for ICP, right? The Dfinity Foundation was added to the vulnerability data enrichment for CVE records, right? So pretty much what this is saying is that they're this is fantastic. Okay, this is fantastic. Sorry, I'm getting two steps ahead. Let me just read this. Let me just read this for you guys, and then we'll break it down. So, the common vulnerabilities and exposures to the CVE system provides a reference method for publicly known information security vulnerabilities and exposures. Cybersecurity is becoming a huge issue. By contributing to the CVE database, a company plays a role in broader cybersecurity community. ICP is the only blockchain on the list. Once again, ICP is the only blockchain on the list. Other notable companies that are listed, guys, get ready: Adobe, Amazon, CrowdStrike Holdings, Dell, right? GitHub, Google, HP, Intel. I mean, there's some I'm skipping, but look, Logitech, Microsoft, Netflix, Nvidia, Samsung, right? There's a few other ones that are also pretty big, but look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. And we're the only coin on the blockchain to be part of this list. Vulnerability data enrichment for CVE records, 249 CNAs on the enrichment recognition list for April 7th, 2025. Dfinity Foundation. Dfinity. Guys, that is ICP. That is super, super huge. And honestly, this type of news is fantastic for the price and timeline we're at, because I do believe that reversals are going to start happening overall very, very soon. We talked about on this channel how I believe April, May, June are pretty much going to be the recovery months and the months of the reversals. I did say at the beginning of April there still could be a further pullback down, right? Just to sweep certain areas. I mean, even if we go to the monthly, right? The monthly candle for ICP, the bottom of it was $4.83, which was also the quarterly, which was also one of the weekly candles. So, getting at least a small sweep was something that we anticipated. We also did talk about previous ICP videos and in the Discord that buying over here was going to be one of the best opportunities you can be doing. Now you may ask me, well, it's slightly higher, should I still buy? Not a financial advisor, but I just want you to think, right? People thought, ICP was a good buy at $8. People thought ICP was a good buy at $11. People thought even at, what's another common price? Around 15 and a half bucks was a great price. Now you look at this chart and you see that we are pretty much near bottoms, or potentially near the very bottoms. I have to ask you, what do you think, right? You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to get the perfect price. But look, ICP for $4.75 is an absolute steal. We overall believe that we are experiencing something very, very similar to what happened just over a year ago, which is where we had a top. We had this, right? We broke below this type of support, and then we eventually, went down further and reversed. Same thing, right? One, two, pretty much like this, right? Same thing that happened right over here, right? This right here, right? We had this area, boom, went below it. We could see we reversed retested off it, reverse retested off it, and now we are boom somewhere over here, right? Where we are right now, this area is somewhere over here. So overall, what I'm saying is fantastic prices to start buying big bags or dollar cost averaging, in my personal opinion. I am super high on this coin, right? We just saw that just recently there was very, very big news. ICP, without getting too political, too much into debate, is a top 10, top 15 coin, even maybe better, right? But I'm just being generous right now to other coins. When it comes to in terms of the actual coin itself, we can see that we are sitting at 2.2, pretty much 2.3 billion market cap, right? Volume of $84 million. So ICP is one of those coins that I see going between 35 to 45 billion in terms of market cap. Okay. So for me, even if we did hit that range, which would roughly be a 15 to 20x, that would be, ICP hitting $47.50 all the way upwards of, somewhere around 70, 60, somewhere there. So like a 50, $55 ICP, I could definitely see that happening without a shadow of a doubt. And that is just, me being a little bit, on the more conservative side, right? On the more conservative side. Now, I do see something here that some people are saying bearish pressure and weak momentum, which is slightly true. It is slightly true in terms of the bearish momentum, only because the daily candle, the nice pump we had yesterday, pretty much more than like 50% of it already got consumed, right? We can see we maxed out on 12.5% gains, while we are currently pretty much at, 5.7% gains from yesterday's bottom. So, not the strongest, right? Not the strongest momentum, but overall, right? You don't need to be literally sniping the literal bottom here. You could be buying in, at very, very nice bottoms. I mean, even if we take it from this high to the literal low, you got to realize you are getting more than an 88% discount from this last high. And we believe we're going to smash that easily, casually, going into a nice price range of pretty much, what I say, what I say before. Oops, not this, right? So this would be roughly, let's just say 10x, 47. So even like upwards of $90, right? We can be going to on a realistic point, right? $90. And we're buying it below $5. So for me, great buying opportunity, right? We still believe ICP could be going higher than that. I will be giving you certain zones that I believe ICP will most likely enter, have maybe a little bit sell off or absolutely smash. So worst case scenario, I think we would go to $32. That is with the worst altcoin season ever. But I do believe we will be going higher. For me, we're most likely going to be looking to be sweeping certain zones. I could definitely see us sweeping the $87 zone, which, whether we say that would be, in our 35 to 45 billion market cap range. And then, of course, even going upwards of $136. This all obviously depends on a few factors. How much money there will be in the market. I do believe this will be the biggest altcoin season ever. So for me, this zone of $87 is going to be my first primary zone. So if I did buy roughly here, I am looking around 20x gain potentials in a very, very strong project like ICP, right? So I'm super high on this coin. Let me know what you guys think. Really would love to hear your opinion. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.